Alrighty, so nothing like an annoying tick-tick-tick noise while I'm in the process of getting ready here. I wanted to replay a match, which is why you're hearing the ticking there, is because it's actually counting down in the background. I wanted to replay a match that I had played earlier today. I didn't have it on film, but I got the replay from the game, so I wanted to walk back through the replay and show you guys how it went. And the reason being is this was a pretty special fight for me, even though I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know until at the very end, honestly. So what I'm going to do here, actually I guess I should go to live show because I'm talking and you guys aren't seeing anything. So I've thrown up a total damage counter here. I'm going to put it right there. That's a good spot for it. Perfect. And I'm going to pull up the replay and I'm going to start it running. And we'll wait for it to count down. There we go. It's back in sync again. Come on, computer. Let's see you go. So this is one of the new maps that they just released. And this is only like my second or third time playing on this map. This is Pilsen. And I'm in my JagPanzer IV, which is a Tier 6 tank destroyer. And this is a Tier 7 battle. And I started out by heading to the east, out into this open area. Because I wasn't really sure what to do, honestly, on this map. But I wanted to get out and give myself some room to find a spot to maybe snipe from. Because there are a few Tier 7s rolling around out there that I don't want to run into. Like that KV-3, the heavy Tier 7. Or the, like a T-3485 that they have on their side. Both dangerous tanks. T-43, another dangerous tank that they've got on their side. So I'm heading over this way into this little town over on the east side. I'm following this Skoda. And I'm thinking, I'll get up near these buildings up here and I'll find me a spot to snipe from. And that's when I see the T-3485 hit the Skoda. And I'm like, dive behind the building and hide. So the Skoda's going to try and advance on him. And I'm going to try and set up a spot where I can shoot him if he comes down this left side. So I'm thinking, oh, good, I'll just knock over this tree and I'll hide behind it. And then I realized that my tank is literally bigger than that tree. This isn't going to work. But I thought I'd at least see what I got for a shot. Nothing. A little bit of rise there in the road. So I know he can't see me and I can't see him, which is good. Because if he can't see me, he can't shoot me. So I'm going to roll forward a little bit here and see if I can get a shot on him. See if he's dumb enough to come up a little closer. Oh, come on. Oh, sure enough. Shoot the dome, 219 points of damage. And I'm going to hold it there for a second. I'll update my damage counter real quick here. 219. And we keep rolling. So, at this point, I want to roll forward a little bit more. You'll have to excuse Icky. He doesn't realize I'm actually filming my replay video here, and he's just being a jerk. So, I'm thinking if I can get a few more shots on that T-3485, I can help kill him. Because I didn't realize I'd be able to actually penetrate his armor. I thought he was a lot tougher. The Skoda rolls forward, and I'm like, oh, that's not going to be good. Because, sure enough, the Skoda gets taken out. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can get a shot on him. I realized somebody else shot him, and I'm like, oh, I look on my map, I realize there's a Cromwell, and that was I saw earlier, and there's an actual JagPanzer, which is the Tier 7 tank destroyer above mine, both near me. Hellcat shows up, put a round into him, and another round into him, finishing him off. So with the kill of the Hellcat there, I'm looking at another 372 damage total, and that brings my total count up to 591. This is like the hardest way to do this, I'm sure. People are like, you got to learn some editing software. Yeah, I know. So anyway, we'll roll forward with the film here. I'm still trying to get a shot on that 3485 if I can to help out. But so far I got one kill, and I've done about 600 points of damage. So this is actually a good game for me, honestly. Here comes the JagPanther. He's going to be all hero. He's going to take out the T-3485. And it's going to cost him most of his armor. No, I guess not most of his armor. Small portion of his armor. My bad. He goes off and gets hit somewhere else. So anyway, Cromwell B takes off in front of me. We're going to run down this eastern side on the map, as you can see right here. We're going to run down the eastern side, come in behind them, and try to cap their base. or at least get behind them and get some shots into their backside. So there's the dead Hellcat that I snapped earlier. Now, as I'm coming down around this bin, you'll see that the Cromwell and a KV-85 that came in from the other side are both rolling out in the middle there to engage the enemy. And I notice that there's a heavy tank number 6 over here on the right who looks like he's out in the open. But I don't want him to shoot me because that will freaking hurt. So I kind of creep in here along the corner of the building and see if I can get a shot on him. Oh, he's on the other side of the truck. Trucks don't mean nothing to me. Bam! Shoot him through the truck. He's looking the wrong way. I guess he's looking at the Cromwell. I'll shoot him again. I think he just blew up the one guy. Cromwell's going to shoot him again. I'm going to shoot him again. And one more shot to finish him off. At this point, that's another 809 points of damage for me. And another kill. Which brings my total up to exactly 1,400 in damage. Now at this point, this is actually a really good... This is a really good match for me. 2 kills, 1,400 damage on a tier 7 fight. Oh, look, there's that SU-100. Again, on the other side of a truck. Trucks mean nothing to me. I'll shoot him. And he returns the favor, taking most of my armor off. But that's another 204 points of damage to him. So let's throw that onto my total real quick here. So it's going to bring me up to 1,604. Yeah, 1,604. And save. There we go. Perfect. Let's roll on. So, 1,600 damage, and I've hit 4 tanks so far. So, Mr. Cromwell is over there playing with a T-43 and lights him on fire. And I'm like, oh, good deal. Finish him off. Alright? If you're not going to finish him off, get the hell out of the way. Good. I'll finish him off for you. One shot into the back, and that's 143 points of damage to finish off that T-43. So, let's throw some 143 points on here, which brings me up to 1,747. And file, save, and back to battle. There we go. Let's roll forward. So at this point, I saw the Cromwell going that way, and I thought, oh shit, there's still an SU-100 over there. I better help him out. So I'm like, okay, I better get my game on. But by that time, and I just dropped all my notes. Great. Cromwell's dead. So all I've got is an SU-100. I'm thinking, you know what? If he rolls past her, I'm going to shoot him in the head. So I shoot him in the head. And I expected him to keep rolling forward, but idiot rolls backwards right into my sights. So I'll shoot him again. And then he stays there. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just shoot him a third time. And I got lucky that that last shot clipped him, honestly. I'll be fair with you. So with taking out of the SU-100Y completely adds on another 446 points of damage to my total, bringing me to 2243. 2243. And I look at my map and I realize that the only thing left is me and a Leopard on our side, and that KV-3 that I didn't want to deal with earlier, and their artillery piece, which I'm assuming is somewhere in the backfield. So I figure if I'm going to go for it, I've got to take out that KV-3 and stop the cap. Or at least die trying. So I roll up the line, back up all the way to the other end of the field to see if I can get this KV-3. This is where I always say, in games of tanks, there's skill, and there's not skill, and then there's just plain luck. And I don't care who you are, luck plays a huge part, I think, in most of these games. Everything from matchmaker down to how lucky a shot do you get sometimes. So I'm like, great, there he is. He's looking at the Leopard on the other side. Guess what? I can't penetrate his armor because he's, it's red. I mean, I have, like, 0 chance. Oh, green. I can shoot his tracks. Good, I'll shoot his tracks. So I've done a little bit of damage, and I probably partially damaged his tracks. HE rounds, no effect. Great, I back up, because at this point, I'm worried he's going to look at me and shoot me. And I'm like, okay. Luckily, someone on my team sends me a message saying, Commander's hatch on top of the tank. And I'm like, all right. I'm going to load up a shell and put it on the Commander's hatch on top of the tank. Well, I would if my gunner could shoot straight. He can't. So I'll try one more time. Now, I remember that's an HE round and only did 65 points damage. So I'm going to switch to an AP round and see how much damage that does. Ah, 183. Much better. I'll take this guy apart piece by piece. Now, at this point, I'm like, why is he not shooting back at me? And then the Leopard's like, hey, is this guy a bot or something? Is he looking the wrong way? What the hell? So the Leopard starts to drive around and actually drives back. I actually almost thought I was going to kill the Leopard here because I just pulled the trigger as he rolled past. So with the kill of the KV-3, who I'm guessing either disconnected after getting in the cap or was so goddamn, thought he was so powerful that he pulled to the cap circle and went to get a coffee because he thought, oh, nobody can kill me. There's only a JagPanzer and a Leopard left. That dude walked off, and I ended up doing 921 points of damage to him, bringing my total up to 3164. But it's not over yet. Even though I've now reached my highest damage figure I've ever done in a battle, we still got to get that artillery piece, which neither of us know where it's at. So I message out to the Leopard and I say, hey, buddy, go find me that artillery piece and I'll finish him. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. All yours, man. So me and him take off and we're hunting for the artillery piece. Now at this point, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because this is about 2 or 3 minutes of us driving around in the backfield looking for him. So I'm going to jump ahead here a little bit. And there we go. So at this point, we've rounded through the backfield, and we're coming back up, and we've got to search these big buildings. We haven't found them yet. It's been about 2.5 minutes. So I figure, oh, he's probably in one of the buildings. But then common sense kicks in and says, if he's in one of these buildings, he's probably lined up to shoot you when you come through the door. So I divert around the building, and luckily the Leo finds him. So I'm like, oh, good, he found him. Now, how are we going to shoot him? Because he's probably in one of these buildings, wedged in by a rock pile or something. He's probably got a single shot. He's going to take one of the two of us out. Well, the Leopard runs into the building and ducks around a corner and hides and gets his attention. And then he messages me and says, hey, he's facing me. And I'm like, well, I'll go in the back door and I'll take a look. Sure enough, the Leopard's hiding in the corner over there, and he's facing at the Leopard trying to get a shot. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just roll in here and shoot you in the side. Thought I'd get him with one shot, but I didn't. So one more shot into the back, and that's another 280 points of damage, and the match is mine, which brings my final total up to 3,444 damage. And at that point, the replay ends here. And now in the normal Tanks game, you would go to the little screen that says, hey, here's your final results. No, instead I got a server error message because it was at 5 a.m. this morning telling me that the servers had gone down and I needed to reconnect. So I went to the login screen. I didn't get my summary screen. So I go to the login screen and I come back in and I'm like, oh, well, this kind of sucks. I guess I finished somewhere good because I'm still alive and the enemy lost. I don't know what I got. So I log back into the game and I'm like, hey, there's a message there that says, collect your reward. And I'm like, collect my reward? So it's up in the missions button up in the top of the box. And I'm like, okay, I'll go and collect my reward. So I click on it, and it says, congratulations, you've just finished Tank Destroyer Mission 15 with honors. And I'm like, oh, holy cow. So it turns out you have to do 3,000 points of damage and kill an enemy tank to do it with honors. And I was like, holy cow, I didn't think I'd ever be able to do it with a tier 6 tank. But I did. 3,444 points of damage and 6 kills. And I went back through my badges and looked, and I'd seen that I'd gotten a Top Gun, a high caliber. I actually got a master's badge for the JagPanzer IV. And I got my first female crew member, who I picked for the German line because I play Germans. So she's in one of my tank destroyers. She's actually, I put her in the Hetzer for now because that's one of my favorite tanks. So I got my first female crew member, and I got 5 credits towards the mission tank. So all in all, a good day and a good morning, except for I didn't get my mission splash screen and I wasn't recording it. So now I've learned I got to record everything or I have to come back and do these little replays. So just wanted to show that off, a little bit of a highlight on my part. Thanks for watching. It's been Dabu21.